Did anyone ever tell you that life after 80 would feel more like survival than simply living? Not many people speak this truth out loud. But the reality is, growing older doesn't always arrive neatly packaged with wisdom, serene peace, and tranquil mornings. Instead, it can bring an unexpected weakness in your legs and a weight of worry you never imagined carrying. You've journeyed so far in life. You've fought, endured, contributed, and built. Yet, once you step into your 80s, the world around you subtly begins to transform in ways incredibly difficult to articulate, unless you're experiencing it firsthand. You might glance in the mirror and see the same reflection for a few years, but deep down, your inherent strength, your sharp memory, and your cherished independence all start to fray, much like a well-worn piece of fabric. What no one truly warns you about, what remains unwritten in books or glossy retirement brochures, is how profoundly this unique stage of life can challenge you in entirely new dimensions. Not just physically, but also emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. This video isn't here to instill fear, quite the opposite. It's about fostering crucial awareness, about giving a voice to what countless older adults feel but seldom express. It's about equipping you, mentally and practically, for some of the often unseen challenges that emerge as you step beyond your 80th birthday. We're about to explore 7 hard, yet profoundly honest truths about aging after 80, insights you absolutely deserve to know. Why? So you can confront them not with apprehension, but with unwavering strength, dignity, and a sense of choice. Because being prepared doesn't make you pessimistic, it truly makes you powerful. Let's dive into reality 1. The disappearing circle of people. By the time you reach 80, your phone won't ring as often, not because people stop caring, but because many of those familiar voices are simply no longer here to call. One of the most poignant realities of advanced age is the quiet, creeping loss of your social circle. Friends passing away, neighbors moving to assisted living, and even family becoming less available as they navigate their own busy lives. Reality 1. The disappearing circle of people. By the time you gracefully reach the age of 80, you might notice something poignant. Your phone doesn't ring with the same frequency it once did. This isn't because people suddenly stop caring. Rather, it's a stark, quiet truth that many of those familiar voices, those cherished connections, are simply no longer around to call. One of the most profoundly painful realities of advanced old age is this subtle yet persistent loss of your once vibrant social circle. It's the friends who, one by one, pass away. The beloved neighbors who move into assisted living facilities, and even family members who, while still loving, become less available as they become increasingly consumed by the demands of their own busy lives. This isn't solely about death, it's about a pervasive absence, a kind of emptiness that creeps in slowly, almost imperceptibly. The weekly lunch you used to share with a dear friend every Tuesday simply ceases to happen. The comforting, familiar voice you once heard every Sunday after church is now, heartbreakingly, gone. And perhaps the most difficult part of all is this: no one truly replaces them. The pool of people your age is thinning out, and while younger generations are wonderful, they don't quite fill that unique, deeply personal space in your heart. This shrinking circle doesn't just rearrange your daily schedule. It profoundly affects your very spirit. Loneliness in this context isn't merely being alone. It's the unsettling sensation of being invisible. It's waking up and realizing that fewer people genuinely know your life story, that fewer remember you in your prime, and that fewer still proactively check in to see if you're truly okay. When you lose these vital connections, your very sense of self can begin to slip, leaving you to ponder. Do I still truly matter? Would anyone even notice if I chose to stay in bed all day? That's precisely why confronting this first truth is so incredibly important. Your social circle will inevitably transform after 80, sometimes far more rapidly than you anticipate. But here's the crucial counterbalance, the glimmer of hope. You possess the power to plant new seeds even at this stage of life. Many wise seniors discover renewed joy in volunteering, not just to feel useful, but fundamentally to feel connected. Others find profound satisfaction in small, consistent interactions, like a friendly chat with the same cashier at the local grocery store, or joining a welcoming library book club specifically designed for seniors. The ultimate goal isn't to meticulously rebuild what has been lost. It's to ensure you're not drifting silently, completely alone. If you're over 80 and have experienced that gnawing emptiness, that subtle ache of fewer familiar voices, please know you are not imagining it. It is, without a doubt, one of the most challenging transitions of aging. But by acknowledging it, by bravely reaching out towards even one new connection, you can find a genuine lifeline. Because while the echoes of the past may be gently fading, your unique story is still dynamically unfolding, and someone, somewhere, still truly needs to hear it. Reality, too, the body's subtle rebellion. After you cross into your 80s, your body doesn't simply age, it starts a complex negotiation. One day, your knees might feel perfectly fine, allowing you to move with ease. The very next, they could ache with every single step. It's rarely the dramatic, sudden decline that catches most older adults off guard. Instead, it's this persistent, quiet rebellion of your own physical being. Think of the subtle stiffness that wasn't there just last week, the appetite that vanishes without any warning, or the afternoon nap that suddenly feels more like an absolute necessity than a mere choice. Many individuals approaching this age expect their strength to diminish gradually, predictably. What truly surprises them, however, is the sheer inconsistency of things. You might enjoy 3 nights of sound sleep, only to abruptly find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., staring intently at the ceiling. Or perhaps your digestion, which has been reliably steady your entire life, suddenly begins reacting negatively to foods you've consumed for decades. It truly feels as if your body is constantly changing the rules without bothering to inform you. This inherent unpredictability can leave you feeling genuinely betrayed by the very body you've inhabited for over 80 years. You start to constantly question, is this my new normal or just a temporary glitch? Should I rush to see a doctor or wait it out? This relentless state of not knowing can be incredibly draining, wearing you down emotionally. It's not just about the physical pain. It's the profound emotional toll of no longer feeling completely steady and reliable in your own skin. And yet, most people around you, especially younger individuals, simply don't see it. From the outside, you might appear perfectly fine, still walking, still managing your chores, still sharing a good laugh. But they remain unaware of the immense energy it takes just to maintain that outward rhythm. They don't perceive the countless internal adjustments you're constantly making. How you meticulously plan your errands around your good hours. How you deliberately skip certain meals just to avoid that nagging heartburn, or how you might sit down, not because you're tired, but because standing for too long causes your legs to tremble uncontrollably. The hardest truth is that this subtle, ongoing breakdown doesn't cease, and it rarely follows any predictable pattern. One day, you might experience a surge of youthful energy, filling you with hope. The very next, you could feel far older than your chronological age, and that fleeting hope begins to slip away. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's the profound reality of your body working harder to sustain the same fundamental functions. You are still fundamentally you, but now you're called to listen more carefully, move with greater gentleness, and prioritize rest more often. But here's something profoundly helpful: establishing routines, even the simplest ones. This could be drinking warm water first thing each morning, performing gentle stretches before you go to bed, or stepping outside for a dose of sunlight, even if it's just for 10 minutes. These seemingly small, consistent actions serve as a powerful reminder to your body that you are still on its side, that you're not giving up. You are, in fact, adjusting, and that, my friends, is the quiet, enduring strength of aging well. Not in rigidly resisting change, but in gracefully learning how to move with it. If you're still with us, absorbing these crucial insights, pause for a moment. Has anything we've shared so far resonated deeply with you, perhaps sparking a memory or a quiet understanding? If so, tell us. What's one small, gentle adjustment or routine you've made to listen to your body after 80? Share your wisdom in the comments below with Bodies Whisper so we know you're here, truly connecting. And if you haven't already, tap that subscribe button and ring the bell. Your engagement fuels our mission to keep informing and inspiring you. Now, let's continue forward. Reality 3, the shrinking circle of people. After you celebrate your 80th birthday, one of the most profoundly challenging truths you'll face is this: your once expansive social circle inevitably begins to shrink. Sometimes this happens in a slow, almost imperceptible drift, while other times it feels like an abrupt, sudden shift. Friends you once chatted with weekly on the phone may stop answering. Neighbors with whom you shared countless cups of coffee might move away, or sadly pass on. Even your own beloved family members, the very ones who once seemed to rely on you for everything, suddenly appear consumed by the relentless pace of their own demanding lives. It's rarely that people intentionally mean to pull away. Life simply undergoes a fundamental transformation. Your children, for example, become grandparents themselves, their precious time devoured by busy jobs, active grandkids, their own health concerns, and mounting stresses. And while their love for you undoubtedly remains steadfast, the phone calls gradually become less frequent. The visits feel more rushed, and that cherished sense of belonging may start to feel much fainter. At first, you might reassure yourself it's just temporary. They're simply busy this month. But weeks often stretch into months, birthdays pass with only a brief text message, and holidays begin to feel distinctly quieter. You find yourself increasingly drawn to reminiscing, replaying old conversations, and clinging tightly to precious memories, largely because new ones are becoming harder to come by. There's also an undeniable social shift that accompanies aging. Perhaps you no longer feel comfortable driving at night, or it becomes a real struggle to hear conversations in noisy, crowded places. Maybe simply getting up and getting dressed for a gathering now consumes 3 times the energy it once did. So, even when opportunities to connect arise, you hesitate. You genuinely want to go, but you instinctively weigh the cost. And all too often, that perceived cost feels prohibitively high. This can create a truly dangerous loop. The less you connect, the more invisible you begin to feel. And paradoxically, the more invisible you feel, the easier it becomes for others, unintentionally, to overlook you entirely. It's not a deliberate act of exclusion, but it's a very real and deeply painful consequence. As shared by Sandra, an insightful 84-year-old woman, the loneliest part of her day wasn't the solitude itself. It was the poignant realization that no one was specifically expecting her call. No one was truly waiting for her to show up. And when she missed an event at her local community center, she observed, No one even noticed her absence. But here's a vital truth to hold on to. Shrinking circles absolutely do not equate to disappearing lives. You don't necessarily need a sprawling crowd to feel genuinely connected. Just one or two meaningful relationships. Someone with whom you can share a hearty laugh or simply sit in comfortable silence can be profoundly sufficient. Sometimes this requires taking the initiative to reach out, even when it feels a little awkward. It might mean writing a heartfelt letter instead of passively waiting for a call, or bravely saying yes to a neighbor's invitation, even when your immediate preference is to stay comfortably at home. It's also incredibly beneficial to offer your presence where it's truly needed. Perhaps you can mentor someone younger, volunteer your time if you're able, or generously share your rich life stories. You might feel as though no one is truly listening, but believe me, someone is, and your vast life experience can serve as the unwavering anchor they desperately need. Growing older absolutely doesn't mean becoming irrelevant. However, staying visible, staying engaged, certainly takes conscious effort. And it all begins by deeply remembering that while your immediate circle may indeed be smaller, your intrinsic value has not diminished in the slightest. Reality 4, the burden of outliving others. As you step into your 80s, a uniquely quiet and pervasive kind of pain emerges. The burden of outliving the very people you cherish. After 80, this isn't just a remote possibility. It tragically transforms into a recurring pattern. You don't merely say goodbye to one beloved individual. You find yourself uttering farewells again and again. These are goodbyes to dear friends who knew the unfiltered joys and struggles of your childhood, to siblings who shared the deepest roots of your parents' and family history, and most profoundly, sometimes even to your own cherished spouse. The one you genuinely believed you'd grow old with forever. It's far more than just the acute pain of loss. It's the sheer, overwhelming weight of carrying all those memories entirely alone. Imagine a shared joke that now, heartbreakingly, no one else remembers, or a deeply private family story that only you were there to witness. It feels akin to a vast, personal library of your life's rich history slowly, relentlessly losing its readers, until you are the solitary soul left to turn its pages. This profound shift can undeniably lead to a deep, aching loneliness, a type of emptiness that even the busiest crowd cannot possibly fill. It's not just about missing the physical presence of a person. It's about grieving the integral part of yourself that only truly existed when they were by your side. And that missing piece can leave you feeling utterly adrift, without an essential anchor. Yet there is a powerful and beautiful way to honor those who have passed and to significantly lighten this immense burden. Become a storyteller yourself. Actively share their stories. Tell your grandchildren vivid tales about your brother's hilarious antics, or patiently teach your nieces about your mother's quiet yet formidable strength. Connect with old friends and spend time reminiscing together. Even simply writing down cherished memories in a personal journal can offer profound solace. Each time you thoughtfully recount a story, you're not just remembering. You are, for a precious moment, actively bringing them back to life. You are giving their unique voice an echo, keeping their spirit vibrantly alive through your words. And as you generously share these stories, you'll discover that they become powerful anchors for your own heart. Because true love never truly dies. It simply transforms the way it continues to live within you. Reality 5. Your life doesn't have a story arc. For the majority of our lives, we're implicitly, sometimes explicitly, taught to perceive our existence as a well-structured narrative. We're born, we grow, we confront formidable challenges, we diligently pursue and achieve goals. anticipating that quintessential happy ending. Perhaps by 60 or 70, everything is supposedly meant to wrap up neatly. You've successfully raised your children, meticulously built your career, prudently saved for retirement. The societal expectation is that you'll gracefully sail into the sunset, luxuriating in your golden years, enjoying a well-deserved rest. However, after you cross the threshold of 80, that comfortable, familiar narrative utterly breaks down. Your story doesn't suddenly conclude with a neat, perfectly tied bow. Instead, it simply keeps unfurling, much like an ongoing book with new chapters added to it day after day, whether you explicitly want them or not. And sometimes, these unexpected new chapters can be profoundly confusing or incredibly challenging. They might involve the sudden emergence of novel health issues, a drastic change in your living situation, the painful loss of yet another cherished friend, or even the surprising, often frustrating, need to master unfamiliar new technology. You might frequently find yourself pondering, shouldn't I be done by now? Haven't I earned my rest? And yet, despite these musings, the demands of life relentlessly keep coming. This can subtly but powerfully lead to a quiet despair, a pervasive feeling that you're inexplicably stuck in an endless epilogue that no longer makes coherent sense. But here's the liberating truth about this particular reality. Your life story doesn't need to neatly wrap up. In fact, it yearns to expand. Every new chapter, every unexpected challenge, presents a profound chance to add layers of unforeseen depth to your rich narrative, to courageously discover facets of yourself you never even knew existed. It's not about achieving a definitive ending. It's about the continuous process of evolving. Your true legacy isn't merely confined to your past accomplishments. It is the vibrant, continuing story of who you are gracefully becoming, right up until your very last, precious breath. Reality 6. Time no longer behaves predictably. After you pass the age of 80, your fundamental relationship with time undergoes a profound and often disorienting transformation. It's no longer merely about the distant past blurring into soft focus, or the future appearing undeniably short. Instead, it's about the immediate present becoming utterly inconsistent and unpredictable. Some days time seems to simply fly by in a blur. You're engrossed, productive, engaged in various activities, and before you know it, the entire day has gracefully slipped away. Conversely, other days, time seems to crawl at a snail's pace. Hours stretch into what feels like an eternity, and you might find yourself staring intently at the clock, acutely aware of every single minute ticking by. This is especially true if you're not feeling particularly well, or if you're simply waiting for something to happen. This inherent unpredictability of time can be incredibly disorienting. It makes planning difficult and committing to future engagements challenging, because you simply can't predict how you'll feel when that moment arrives. It can also foster a deep sense of isolation, as if you're operating on an entirely different clock from everyone else around you. The outside world continues to rush by at a relentless pace, but you are now experiencing a distinct, unique rhythm of time. This isn't solely a mental adjustment, it's a deeply physical phenomenon. Your body's energy levels fluctuate without warning, your sleep patterns become increasingly erratic, and your concentration ebbs and flows. All these physiological changes only serve to make the inconsistent, often frustrating, flow of time even more pronounced. However, there's a powerful way to gracefully navigate this reality. Consciously embrace the present moment with unwavering intention. When time seems to drag, practice profound mindfulness. Notice the smallest, most exquisite details around you. The comforting texture of your blanket, the distant sound of a bird singing outside your window. When time surprisingly flies by, ensure you're truly, fully present in whatever you're doing. Savor every conversation, deeply appreciate the quiet, serene moments. The ultimate goal isn't to desperately try and control time, because that's an impossible feat. Instead, the goal is to fully inhabit whatever time you are given, whether it chooses to move swiftly or deliberately slow. Because in that complete and mindful inhabitation, you will discover an unexpected sense of peace and profound meaning. Reality 7. The deep dive into your own self. For the majority of your life, your identity has largely been defined by your various roles. Your demanding career, your integral place within your family, the intricate web of your friendships, and the passions that shaped your hobbies. However, after you cross the significant threshold of 80, many of those defining roles inevitably begin to fade or undergo drastic changes. Your children are now fully grown, navigating their own complex lives. Your career is a distant memory, long concluded. Your closest friends may sadly no longer be with you, and even some of your once favorite hobbies might become physically challenging, if not impossible. In this newfound quiet space, stripped of external definitions, a truly profound and sometimes unsettling phenomenon occurs. You are no longer primarily defined by what you do or even by who you're constantly with. Instead, you are simply left with just you. This can undoubtedly be an uncomfortable, even genuinely frightening experience for many. Who are you truly, without all those familiar external labels and connections? It feels like a profound stripping away of your long-held identity. Yet, amidst this perceived emptiness lies an unparalleled and extraordinary opportunity. The chance to genuinely meet yourself for the very first time. It's akin to finally coming home to a core self you always inherently were, but perhaps never truly had the time or mental space to pay deep attention to. You begin a meticulous and deeply personal excavation, uncovering your absolute core values, your deepest, most unwavering beliefs, your quiet yet undeniable strengths, and those parts of you that are fundamentally unbreakable and constant. This isn't a passive process of finding prepackaged answers. It's an active and courageous journey of asking better questions. What genuinely brings you joy now? What aspects of the world are you still intensely curious about? What accumulated wisdom do you profoundly wish to share? What does your spirit truly crave in this unique season of life? This introspective journey represents the ultimate act of self-discovery, a profound exploration inward that can, surprisingly, bring unparalleled peace, profound clarity, and a deeper sense of wholeness than you've ever known. So there you have it, the 7 profound realities of life after 80. It's truly a phase of existence unlike any other, unfolding with its own unique set of challenges, yet also offering deeply profound opportunities for growth and self-discovery. If these insights resonated with you at all, please consider sharing this video with someone who might genuinely need to hear these words. Your act of sharing can make a significant difference. And for those of you over 80 watching right now, we invite your voice into this conversation. We truly value your lived experience. In the comments below, please tell us, what has been your greatest surprise or your most profound realization about navigating this unique time in your life? Your invaluable wisdom serves as a beacon for everyone who watches. If you found value, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Your engagement empowers us to continue creating content on living a full, vibrant, and meaningful life at every age. Thank you deeply for watching. Remember, life after 80 is absolutely not an ending. It is a powerful new beginning.